You grab frozen biscuits for a quick meal thinking they're all just flour and butter. You believe it's an easy win for your family. But what's hidden in those ingredients lists breaks that idea completely. We're about to show you why many popular brands are secretly bad for you, and why you need to know which four are actually worth it. Look, we all get it. The idea of waking up early to bake fluffy homemade biscuits from scratch is a nice thought. But for most of us on a busy weekday morning, that's just not happening. That's why frozen biscuits feel like such a genius shortcut. You get that warm, comforting, fresh out of the oven taste in about 15 minutes, with pretty much zero work involved. It seems like a total win. But here's the catch. The one thing that makes a biscuit truly great is the fat. You expect it to be rich, creamy butter, right? That's what gives it that perfect flavor and texture. Well, that's exactly where a lot of these big brands are fooling you. They'll slap the word buttery all over the package, but when you actually check the ingredients, you'll find something else entirely. Instead of real butter, they're often using cheaper stand-ins like palm oil. For decades, science has been crystal clear on this. Trans fats are directly linked to an increased risk of heart disease. They raise your bad cholesterol and lower your good cholesterol. It is one of a handful of ingredients that has virtually no nutritional upside and a whole lot of proven risk. It's a cheap industrial shortcut that comes at the expense of your health. But the problems don't stop with the fat. Have you ever eaten one of these biscuits and noticed a weird, almost metallic or chemical aftertaste? That's not in your head. One reviewer even said that a Pillsbury Grand's biscuit left a bad taste that was like eating a spoonful of baking powder. That's what you get when a product is packed with chemical leaveners, dough conditioners, and artificial flavors. A simple homemade biscuit needs flour, fat, liquid, and a leavening agent like baking powder. The industrial version, however, has a laundry list of extra ingredients designed to make the dough perfectly uniform and shelf-stable for months on end. You're not tasting food, you're tasting the factory process. And finally, there's the salt. This means that just 2 biscuits with your breakfast could knock out nearly half of your daily sodium allowance before you've even left the house. That's a huge amount, and it's a recipe for high blood pressure over time. So when you put it all together, the artery-clogging fats, the chemical cocktail of additives, and the massive sodium load, it's easy to see why these products are a nutritional disaster. They're masquerading as wholesome comfort food, but they're really just ultra-processed products that do your body no favors. But there is good news. Not every brand is cutting these corners. There are a few that use real butter and simple ingredients, and the difference in quality is night and day. First up is a brand that might surprise you, Immaculate Baking. You see the word organic on the package and you immediately think it's a healthier choice. The label even describes the biscuits as buttery, but when you flip it over and read the ingredients, you won't find a trace of butter. The main fat here is palm oil. It's a classic case of marketing versus reality. One taste tester even said the texture was off, describing them as doughy in the middle. That's what happens when you skip the real ingredients. Next on the list is another fan favorite store, Trader Joe's. Their organic biscuits actually get points for having a good buttery flavor. But here's the catch. That flavor isn't coming from butter. Just like the Immaculate brand, they use a substitute to fake that rich taste. It's a perfect example of how even brands we trust can cut corners. The flavor might trick your taste buds for a second, but the ingredient list doesn't lie. If you're looking for a simple, traditional biscuit, this isn't it. And of course, we have to talk about the most famous one of all, Pillsbury Grand's. These are the definition of an ultra-processed food. Remember how we talked about that weird chemical aftertaste? This is the brand that's famous for it. It's the taste that screams factory, not kitchen. And the salt, it's completely out of control. Reviewers consistently call them super salty, and for good reason. It's a cheap way to add flavor when you're not using quality ingredients. So you have the big 3 problems all in one can: cheap, artery-clogging fats, a laundry list of chemical additives, and a shocking amount of sodium. These brands are masters of disguise. They use words like homestyle, buttery, and organic to make you feel good about what you're buying. But now you know better. So what does a good label actually look like? Who is getting it right? Let's finally get to the good stuff. Here are the 4 brands that use real butter and simple ingredients you can actually pronounce. Alright, let's rip open the packaging on the brands that are actually doing it right. These are the biscuits with ingredient lists that look like they came from a recipe card, not a science lab. First on our list is the gold standard, the one that reviewers rave about, Callie's Hot Little Biscuit. One taste tester said this was their favorite by a long shot, and it's easy to see why. The ingredient list is clean and simple. They use real butter, of course, but here's their secret weapon, cream cheese. It gives the biscuits this incredible tangy flavor that cuts right through the richness. They're described as super buttery but light and airy, never dense. A reviewer who once had a fresh one from their shop in Charleston said it, brought me back to life. And amazingly, the frozen ones live up to that memory. Now, they are the most expensive option on the shelf, usually around $9. But if you're looking for a true Southern-style biscuit that tastes homemade, this is the one to splurge on. Next up, we have Mason-Dixie. This is another brand where you can actually taste the quality. They use real butter and real buttermilk, and you won't get any of that weird chemical aftertaste that plagues the cheaper brands. The flavor is just clean and perfectly balanced. But here's the trade-off: the texture. While the taste is spot on, they can be a little dense and don't have those classic flaky layers you might be looking for. One reviewer mentioned that her toddler apparently felt the same way about the texture. He, and I'm quoting here, chucked his biscuit so hard across the room, I thought he might break a window. So, if you're a stickler for flaky layers, just keep that in mind. But for pure buttery flavor, they're a fantastic choice. Now for our third pick, and this one isn't a specific brand, but a category to look for: high-end store brands. Think about the premium private labels you see at places like Whole Foods or other specialty grocery stores. More and more, these stores are creating their own lines of frozen goods with simple, organic ingredients. You have to be a detective and read the label, but you can often find a real butter biscuit hiding in plain sight. They might not have the brand name recognition, but they often deliver on quality without the insane price tag of some gourmet brands. Just make sure you flip the box over and confirm that butter is high up on that list. Finally, the fourth spot on our list goes to small regional producers. These are the hidden gems. You might find a local company that got its start at a farmer's market and now sells its products in the freezer aisle of your local grocery store. These brands almost always have the shortest and cleanest ingredient list you can find. They're made in small batches and rely on quality, not chemicals, for their flavor. Keep your eyes peeled for a brand you don't recognize with simple packaging. It might just be the best biscuit you've ever had from a box. After tearing apart all those labels, here's the biggest lesson. What's on the front of the box usually isn't the whole story. Think about brands that slap buttery on the package. You might expect real butter, but then you look at the ingredients and it's palm oil instead. On the other hand, a brand like Callie's with its simple list of real butter and cream cheese, that's where the amazing taste comes from. The real truth about your food isn't in big, splashy words. It's always in the small print on the back. Now you know the secret. You've got the power to spot the fakes and pick out the truly good stuff. We've pulled back the curtain on frozen biscuits today, revealing the good, the bad, and the truly misleading. But this is just one small corner of your grocery store where hidden truths are waiting. If you want to keep uncovering the secrets hiding in plain sight and make sure you're always putting the best on your family's table, then stick with us. Hit that subscribe button and let's keep digging.